Greetings everyone, this is Jasmina, and in this video I'm going to talk about one of the methods that use the 72 dragons rings, and these are part of the Sanher system. It's kind of a standalone thing. There's just two different rings, and you can see both different sets of rings at this website, at the blog here. And the method is described, which is what I'm going to show you here, in this blog. Now you have to really understand this blog to understand this blog, because they're very linked. Now the second blog here gives an example of how to use the 72 dragon Luan Jia Zi, which is red dragon wood rat, which I'll just call, not red dragon, red phoenix wood rat, which I'll just call the red phoenix method. And this chart is shown in this blog how to use it at a particular location here on Earth. Now I found that location and I reproduced the chart, which I'm not going to show here, but I reproduced it so that I could understand the discussion in this blog. And I can only sort of guess what he means because he does not say things very clearly, but I may be wrong, so don't take this as the absolute truth. If he ever sees this video, that is David Yeck, maybe he can say one way or the other what's going on. He's just not very clear. Now, both of these 72 dragon charts use the earth plate orientation, which is the one most people are very familiar with. It's the one we use for the flying stars and all the other house charts. Now, both of these methods, and he really only shows an example of one, they use the elemental cycle to analyze the chi. And from what I can tell from his example, because the discussion is not very clear, if the watermouth element produces or counters the facing of the door, the direction that the main door faces, there'll be an element there too. And if it produces or counters it, the house receives the Sanher Chi. But again, I could be wrong because he's not terribly clear. So I'm using a totally different example, not the one that he uses in his blogs. But the house that we're looking at is this one right here. And the reason I chose this house is I know where the door is located. And here's a water mouth. Now you can't see any water in this image. This is a very dry region. And so this is actually an intermittent, not constant, water mouth. So this has very little effect on this house because it just doesn't have enough water to activate it all the time. There is a large river over here, or a large river bed anyway, over here. This is just the start of the riverbed that you see here, and it's probably goes maybe to about here. It's quite wide. And there is a small little river that actually seems to flow along this road. And you can actually see this darkened area here, and there's a bridge here, there's a pathway here. There's a bridge right here, and then it comes out to here. It's a little hard to see, but it is there, and if you really zoom in into this location, you can actually see it better. But I had to show both things at once. So basically the river flows this way, and if you have watched my simple Sanher, this is good because it flows this way, so this house receives a little bit of the chi, which is good. You don't want it directly at the house because that's too much. Then the other one flows this way. And this one is actually moving away, but it's not in front of the door, so it's not too bad. And also because this is so small, it also has a very weak effect. Now, north happens to be down in this image, just so you know that we're talking about real world directions. Now, a watermouth, as I've described in other videos, is where two rivers meet or where a river meets the ocean or a lake. And that's a true watermouth. Now, these are both watermouths, but which one does this house use? Well, it does not use this one because the two rivers are not hugging it, as you might say, or at least embracing it in some fashion. It uses this one because the river's here, the river's here. If a house was here, it would use this watermouth, but this house cannot use this one. Now, this is the 72 Dragon ring. There is a slightly better image here, and he really doesn't show it quite like this. You have to combine two or three different images or diagrams on this page here to understand how this ring is created. But this is color-coded with respect to element. So the gray is metal, the blue is water, the green is wood, the red is fire or the pink, and this orangish, tannish color is earth. There's also a light gray void area where you don't get any effect. So you kind of want to avoid to have your watermouth in a void area. That's what I understand. And so we have the watermouth here and the facing direction here. And to help you see this better, I've taken away the image of the landscape. And so this is what it looks like. The house is circled. The center is where the door is located. And so your watermouth is in the fire tiger sector, and the facing is in the earth rabbit sector. Now fire produces earth. So this seems to be good. In the diagram that is on the blog, it's not properly color coded in this sense. That is, the color coding doesn't match on his blog the element, but there's enough there that you can figure out what's going on. And the reason why I say this is good is because the example he gives, he clearly says it's not good. He doesn't explain terribly clearly why it's not good, but by using that, I've determined this is good. And it may be wrong. And so I don't really use this method, but it can be used. So that's basically it. I'd like to thank you for watching. Please feel free to contact me here if you have any questions or visit my ad-free website. I will be having more videos about Sanhe in the future, and I will be having some other monthly videos that have more to do with the San Yuan method, which of course most people use. I'd like to thank you again for watching.